Welcome to the FTW Podcast, the wrestling world in all its laughable glory. Tonight is episode number 140, coming to you live on November 27th, 2012. And with us tonight is Rob. Say hello, Rob.
Hey.
Joe. Say hello, Joe.
Hey, and I'm coming to you from episode 141, not 140. Yeah, it is.
When you get over 100, no one cares until you get 200 anyway. Mike. Say hello, Mike.
I'm a big shot. You don't tell me what to do.
And Lee. Say hello, Lee.
Mike thinks it's hard because he's from PW Torch.
Okay, don't start talking about people being hard when you were researching porn earlier, okay? And Garvin is now manning the boards. What?
What? I wasn't. I was doing your job.
How is me hitting
You're
on
watching
Mike?
China porn?
Yeah, exactly. You like watching China porn. I searched just in case you've been involved in any porn. I don't want anybody stumbling and got onto that shit.
One time, and all of a sudden people
He watches it like it's a Kruger film.
I had to,
The
and
lady
then
goes back and to the left. Back.
if you're listening on iTunes, YouTube, or through your favorite podcast player, make sure to check out ftwpodcast.com for more about us and how to get involved in upcoming discussions. You can find us on Twitter and Facebook. All those links are right there, ftwpodcast.com. For those of you guys listening live here tonight at ftwlive.com, glad you can make it. Welcome to the show, and let's roll on through. We're going to jump into TNA. Rob, you wanted to discuss Joey Ryan and Hulk Hogan and the whole shebang-a-bang that was going on there.
Yeah, why not? In summary, the segment that they had before the match was, I don't know, they keep pushing Joey Ryan, and I'm not going to say he's bad at giving segments. I'm just going to say that the segments they've got him doing right now don't really seem to be making a lot of sense. I don't really have a sense of where TNA wants to go with this guy.
I didn't think his segment was that. I mean, granted, I haven't been following Impact hardcore, but I didn't think his segment there was that bad. The in-ring promo pre-match.
It was a good. It was a good segment. But the problem with it was that, for so long, they've been kind of pushing Joey Ryan towards the X Division title, having him work his way towards the X Division title. X Division, he's going to be the king of the X Division, he's going to do this. Now they've got him turning and going towards the tag team belts, which I actually think is probably a better move for him, but it's kind of an abrupt turn with no real explanation. It'll be interesting to see where TNA goes with this.
What are they going to do with Matt Morgan? I mean, it seems like, there was a lot of hype on the internet with him coming back, and now he's just a lackey for Joey Ryan, and he has those segments. He has those segments with Hogan, but I mean, to bring him back, just
Matt Morgan is the brainless gorilla who serves as Joey Ryan's henchman. Which is sad. Which is sad and insulting, given both the brain power and the ability and the actual in-ring ability that Matt Morgan has. It's sad that they've reduced him to being the Goomba.
So is that?
So
because,
do you think him?
Is it? Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Is that because then that he was going to sign? He wanted to sign for WWE, and then of course he could, obviously they've clearly said no, and he stayed with TNA. Is that just punishment?
I don't think. I really don't believe Matt Morgan wanted to sign with WWE because the WWE didn't know how to handle him either. They nearly killed his fucking career. And if you need proof of that, just somebody tell me, what did Matt Morgan do when he was in WWE?
Whoa.
10 years ago. He was still green.
Whoa.
Yeah. Whoa.
That's exactly what he did, actually. He had that stuttering gimmick. But but at this point, I can't think WWE could do any worse with Matt Morgan.
Was he not in a stable with was it Lesnar and
he was
Big Show and something like that?
Nathan Jones.
Oh, Nathan Jones. G'day. I loved that. That was so funny.
But
isn't it funny that Lee
my
didn't change his voice one bit?
when he was in WWE the first time, like Joe said, first he had the stupid stuttering gimmick. Then from that he graduated to the man with no personality. He never really got any kind of real push. Before he left, before he went on hiatus from TNA, he was in the mix for a lot of things. He went pretty far in the Bound for Glory series tournament. He was getting a lot of pushes. When he was injured in the Bound for Glory series tournament, he showed just how much he knows about the wrestling business when he came out and did commentary for the matches and stuff. But
the problem was anytime they had him active, they didn't do anything with him.
Yeah. Did you think they screwed him over though? I think
they limp-dicked him.
Yeah, they did.
Yes, they did. I'm not saying I'm not saying he didn't get a raw deal from TNA. I'm just saying he's smart enough to know that WWE wouldn't do any better. If best case scenario from WWE, he'd get a little bit more money. He still wouldn't get anywhere near a title.
Okay, so with you saying that, the Ryback role that's currently been going on, with Ryback destroying everybody, they were looking for someone like that when Morgan was wanting to go there. Just saying.
No, that gimmick was basically tailor-made for Ryback. And you got to remember, Ryback was employed by WWE for a while. I mean, he worked the NXT angle and the Nexus angle. Yeah, it was a different guy. We had this discussion last week. But
WWE's always looking for those big guys, though. And
exactly.
I think he would be given one of those big guy, monster.
Well, they did it with Albert too. But I'm just saying that more likely.
No.
But also with Morgan, I would say that he kind of had to go to TNA, kind of to not learn how to work, but to find himself as a wrestler and a character and all that. And I think to compare what he did in WWE 10 years ago to where he's at now, that's apples to oranges. It's unfair to say, well, they wasted him 10 years ago, because 10 years ago he was green. He was just out of developmental, and he was still finding his way. He was still finding his character.
Okay, well, quick question.
Did you say it was?
Quick question.
Just let him do the elevator, and that will get him a title. I'm just saying.
Chad kind of agrees. They're saying that Morgan has been the most criminally underused wrestler in the last decade. I would agree with that. Like you guys are saying, he has had a lot. I mean, he lately has been showing a lot of talent, within the past couple of years. That he's someone you can really rest a main event on. But at the same time, Mike, you nailed it, man. He was really green when he was in the WWE. So you can't really, it's apples and oranges at this point. So the other thing I want to talk about with Impact, this was basically the gut check show. We had 3-4 gut check matches throughout the entire show. Rob, when you look at this, I mean, this is guys in general, when you're looking at gut check, you're thinking this is the future of TNA as far as where they're going to be bringing up some of their main talent. Is there anybody in any of these matches that really leapt to you and said, wow, that guy was impressive? Or girl, if in the case of Taylor Hendricks?
Couple of
I think Taylor Hendricks dropped the ball. I don't find her impressive at all.
Yes. Since Joe brought that up, I'll start there. They showed clips of Taylor Hendricks in OVW, and she went on about how much she's working. She has no in-ring ability.
Well, I think that's a bit harsh. I think that's a little bit harsh. She has got some ring ability. Don't get me wrong; it wasn't the best thing because it was pretty bad. But we've got to remember this was the first time they've come back.
After I watched her match with Tara, I went back and dug through, and I managed to dig it up. I believe TNA still has it on YouTube of her first tryout of her very first gut check match against Tara when she was competing for a contract. I saw virtually no change.
Yeah, that was the thing. When Taylor Hendricks first
ability, she didn't look like she's gotten any better.
Yeah, that was the thing. When she first debuted, we were all kind of like, we weren't gung-ho about it. We're like, she's got potential. And you think about it, in all this time that she's been in development, she really, I can see that. She really hasn't grown much. What about Alex Silva? I mean, you got to think he wasn't really supposed to be signed, and then Ric Flair ruined the whole thing of actually signing him and everything. How do you guys feel about him as far as...
Alex Silva and Sam Shaw put on a hell of a match.
But Shaw showed that he is definitely the better talent.
Yes, definitely. Sam Shaw is definitely the better wrestler. But, at the same point in time, people called it, Ric Flair messing something up. I think maybe Flair saw something in Silva that a lot of people kind of missed, because Silva showed to me that he could be a viable candidate.
Okay.
He upped his game. The two of them had a hell of a match. Apparently, they've got a rivalry going in OVW, which they brought to Gutcheck, and that's good because that means both guys are learning kind of what you need to do in wrestling, carry a program, do all of that other stuff. So it was a great match, and out of the two of them, I think Sam Shaw is the better athlete, bar none.
Okay. What about the match between Jeff Hardy and Christian York? We were really hot on Christian York when he debuted. I mean, he's got so many years of experience, and he's basically ring ready. How do you feel about? Okay, I mean, other than how he did, how do you feel about the mechanics of the match? Because there was a lot of talk about how Christian York. Well, I mean, Rob, what'd you think?
If anybody doubted that Christian York needed deserved a contract, this match should end those doubts. I mean, as I looked back on the match, he went toe-to-toe with Jeff Hardy, who's quote-unquote the best in the business at the moment. And he managed to hit Jeff Hardy with the twist of fate, and he managed to do the twist of fate better than Jeff Hardy did.
Okay, that was the thing. We got a lot of feedback regarding that. Joe, what did you think? I mean, do you think that was a little over the line as far as him doing that?
I'm just saying that, like, I can do a better twist of fate than Jeff Hardy, and I'm not ring trained.
Is it?
I just can't see one man screwing up a move over and over
again. And yeah, Joe, I'm with you. I think any one of us here on the podcast, and probably 85% of people 90% of people in the chat room could do a twist of fate better than Jeff Hardy does.
Even Diva Jill could do a better.
Just curiously, who is that 10%?
The 10% that can't do it would have to be incredibly drunk or incredibly out of shape.
Okay.
Well, do you think...
So basically, Jeff Hardy.
Yeah, basically Jeff Hardy, exactly.
Okay. Does anyone else think that Christian York's hair is very annoying? Is it just me?
A little bit, yeah.
I do find his hair very annoying.
Yeah, okay.
It is a weird thing to zero in on, but really, when you're looking at a guy who was clearly that ready, you're basically finding faults with him. And Lee, I'm with you on that one. Chat loved Christian York, saying they loved him on Impact. His match with Hardy was the match of the night. Yeah, I would definitely say, as far as like ring readiness, I mean, this guy is. I mean, he's set. And, I mean, yeah, he had his second straight loss with Jeff Hardy, but let's face it, he did just put on a hell of a match with the TNA champion. And he's a second, when he got signed 3-4 weeks ago? You're basically thinking about it, this guy just got signed in the X Division less than 2 months ago. And he's had a hell of a match with the TNA champion. I mean, you got to think this is nothing but good things for this guy. So do you see him going in the X Division? Because Chad's saying the X Division is on its deathbed and could really use some of these guys.
Definitely.
Do you think that's where you throw him?
Definitely. As a matter of fact, I'll go a step farther and I'll say within 6 months, Christian York is the X Division champion.
You're going to go that far.
I'll tell you what.
I bet Lee's Pizza gets there before that happens.
I tell you what, though. No, on a serious note, I think it's going to be sooner than that. The X Division is just nothing. And we talked a couple of months ago about how RVD could bring it up a bit, and it's just not happening. It's just simply not there. And I'd be surprised.
RVD was brought into. RVD was brought in to invigorate it, to kind of be like that transitional champion, and he's just RVD, for somebody who's got championship experience, RVD has really failed to carry the X Division. I don't know if it's all his fault. I mean, because there's not that much competition. It's not like he has that much to work with.
Well, I think there is competition to work with. I just don't think they're using him on the TV show, on the actual show. I just don't think they're getting in. They're cramming so much in. They're just not focusing on anything. Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, like I said, 6 months at the latest, but I definitely agree with you, Lee. Christian York could find himself the X Division champion much sooner than that.
Okay.
Now, considering that we had 2 matches of his where he very nearly considering his only 2 matches in TNA so far, he did a very credible job of selling the fact that he could have won those matches.
Fair enough.
I mean, if Jeff Hardy wasn't the world champion, you could make the argument that they may have let York win that match.
Fair play. Fair play is that.
Okay, now we're going from the high of Christian York and how hot on him we are to essentially, if our fans are any indication, the lowest point in TNA Creative with the Austin Aries, Hulk Hogan, Brooke Hogan, Bully Ray clusterfuck that was on Thursday. Hang on, I want to lead it in with some points from our chat because they got some good ones here. How TNA, they want to ask us how TNA is turning into an MTV reality show with Bully and Brooke. Is that really happening? They have ODB and Eric Young, Tara and Jesse, Bully and Brooke. What's next? Joseph Park and Miss Tessmacher. I'm actually behind that one.
Yeah.
I like that.
Is it just me who just found it very it came across as very lazy and very, okay, it's Thanksgiving. We'll just put a show on.
That's the only really saving grace you can give this. Was it the fact that it was Thanksgiving? Did they basically phone it in? If that's the case, I still can't excuse it.
Yeah, me neither. With the quality of TNA programming as of late, it's really and there are so many things wrong with this segment. First of all, in the span of 1 year, Austin Aries comes from being a rookie in TNA to the world champion. It's very hard for him to sell the "I'm getting screwed over" line.
I agree with you on that, but like at the same time, I don't think that TNA product, like I know you did say the quality of it recently. I actually think in the last month or two, it has actually dropped quite a lot.
Yeah, it feels like they've been coasting a bit here. But I'm sorry, I chuckled a bit because the chat hates this so much that they actually don't want us to talk about it at all. Tough, it happened. You got to take the good with the bad, and you got to take the very bad with the bad. So this is where we are. Deal with it.
You can make an argument for that, Lee, as to the quality. Personally, I don't think the quality's dropped as much as you're going to say it has, but it's had its up and its down moments.
No, that's fine. My argument is, I'm going. Don't worry, I will get onto WWE later. I am not going to kiss their ass tonight. Don't panic on that. But I do think TNA has dropped the ball to an extent. I do think that some of their storylines, especially some of the things that they've just changed a bit, like the whole, it's just an example, but the Jeff Hardy kind of like inside your head thing, to me that just, it is a little bit experimental, but it just doesn't work. You know, this is supposed to be live TV, or even when it's not live TV. You know, you're not, you know, it brings you out of that reality, and you know, the best storylines are, you know, when it does feel real.
Absolutely.
I will agree with you 100% there. That needs to stop.
It's just the little things like that that get there.
And Harrison and I have talked about this before. One of our favorite things that TNA did was a little while ago when they had the short-lived reaction series, and you're talking with the wrestlers backstage. That felt so real, and it felt like you were getting their real thoughts. That I wish Spike had found a way to keep that going, because that was really cool. And it was driving interest forward.
And still, the fault lies with TNA, because they could have easily made it a YouTube series, web series. They could have hosted it on their absolutely shitty website. I mean, there's room for that. But I want to keep...
They have so many... They've got 5 million different shitty programs that they put on their YouTube channel. They could put reaction on their YouTube channel.
Yeah, put something good. Okay, well, we got to keep hitting this Brooke Hogan thing.
We do.
Chat's saying, basically, okay, I want to bring up 2 chat points and I want to ask you guys something. Due to how many shots TNA have been taken at WWE recently, they thought that that this must be just another one of those kind of imitating the whole AJ Cena thing. Vicky presents evidence, and so does Aries with the video stuff, which you could say is from, back forward with TNA's AJ. It's just like, it's like basically what we're getting now is, it's like we're getting a copy of a copy of a copy. Another person wrote in saying that he's sick and tired of all these love controversies in WWE and TNA. As a wrestling fan, it takes a very different storyline to like a real love controversy, like Edge, Lita, and Matt Hardy, or even Kane, Lita, and Snitsky when he kicks the baby. He said that's awesome, and I think that's the point.
Don't kick the
Kick the
baby.
baby.
Kick the baby.
I think the thing about, especially like Lita, Matt Hardy, and Edge, was that it was so absurd. That was the thing about it. And now they're trying to bring it down to earth, and it's not working. It's like how we keep talking about the, this is larger than life, superstars, persona, all big words, and you're trying to do a very human story, but you're not blowing it up at all. You're keeping it very small. It doesn't really fit very well. But my question for you guys is, erasing all this, at the center of it is Brooke Hogan. Do you remember when she first debuted, when the news first broke that she was going to be in TNA and she was going to lead the Knockouts division? And we were the ones who said, everybody said this was shit. I mean, that this was going to be a terrible thing. And we said, now hang on a second. There's potential here. Let's not judge her before she comes out. Let's see what happens. Well, at this point, I think we can kind of look at it. How do you guys feel about Brooke Hogan with this latest turn in TNA?
I'll let Rob start just so he can get whatever compliment he wants out before
We'll
then
be
I crush
here
her to death.
for an hourly if Rob goes off on this.
I
Just let you know.
don't compliment. I don't mindlessly compliment TNA. I call them out when they fuck up too, and I'm about to call them out right here.
Okay, keep it short.
TNA.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is history in the making. Rob is ready to talk bad about TNA for the first time in 141 episodes. Rob,
You obviously don't listen to any episode
Actually,
we do.
I'm gonna
He
say,
does- He's going to
Yeah, Rob wasn't on the first 2 episodes.
139. Rob, Mike has said on the show that he doesn't listen to the show.
Actually, I've listened to probably about the last half dozen.
That's not
But,
bad. I feel good. Thank you.
Just because I'm waiting for you guys to talk about me, I'm marked for my own name.
Brooke Hogan, she's at first I was hopeful because she was doing some good things. She was getting the Knockouts division more exposure. There were some promising things that were going on there, but she's shown to me an inability to stand up to Bruce Pritchard or whoever in TNA Creative has been destroying the Knockouts division. So she's not doing her job on that front. And now they've got her in this really stupid
Are you
MTV.
talking like? Are you talking like on TV or off TV, destroying the Knockouts?
I'm talking about backstage.
Okay, because I have something to
Off
say.
camera,
about that,
because-
but I'm going to let you finish.
We've seen first and foremost we've seen most of the Knockouts not get any airtime at all. We've seen the quality of Knockouts matches slowly degrade. The Knockouts division is starting to revolve around 1, 2, maybe 3 Knockouts, and that's it. There are a whole lot of little things that are going on with the Knockouts division that are just pissing me off.
Okay.
And she's not doing her job, and now they've got her crammed into this MTV-ish storyline.
Okay, Rob, the only thing I have is that, I can understand where you're coming from with Brooke Hogan not being able to step up to whoever it is backstage. And I know we've talked about it being Bruce Pritchard, and I don't know, just back in my head, I keep thinking I can't see Hulk Hogan being totally behind women's wrestling. I mean, or David or Eric Bischoff or something. I mean, maybe it's just the tinfoil hat conspiracy idea of me, but for some reason I just think, and that kind of fits a little bit better with the idea that Brooke wouldn't be able to step up to Daddy, who basically got her this job.
That's entirely possible.
So.
With Hogan though, it's a little bit harder to call because when he wrestled, there were some really great women wrestlers too that were making strides and really pushing women's wrestling forward. Now,
yeah, how much of that was him though? Well, regardless, I don't want to get mired.
That's what I'm saying. You don't know what his personal views are. Eric Bischoff, Bruce Pritchard, we know are not big fans of women's wrestling. So
Okay.
I'm going to put the weight more towards them than Hulk Hogan because I don't know his
fair.
personal views.
That's a fair point. Anybody else on that?
And I would think that Brooke Hogan is just there to collect a paycheck and to get her dumb little face on camera since her music career tanked.
That's entirely possible too. And if that's all she's there for, she should get the fuck out of TNA.
Yeah. Anybody else have? Because there is basically a fight going on in the chat, and I want to bring it up. Chat. Basically, we have two camps now forming in the chat. Some are saying that Brooke is this could be possibility. This could be good actually. That the idea that Bully Ray and Brooke Hogan mixed with Austin Aries could bring a good story together. Other people are basically panning it, saying that she destroyed the Knockouts division, turned it into a mixed tag team division that no one cares about. The person saying would rather watch a 10-minute Vicky Guerrero promo than see Brooke Hogan.
Wow.
Another one is saying that at least Brooke is getting a good storyline and basically bringing back Austin Aries versus Bully Ray, that feud again. She is getting a good story at the cost of Bully Ray. That Bully Ray actually getting worse out of the Raw deal.
You can't say that. You can't say we're getting a good story because at the cost of Bully. That's like saying, oh, we're getting a good match between Cena and Ziggler, but we're getting the worst storyline I've ever seen in my life.
Lee, I disagree, man. I say, look, you can look back at AJ Lee in the WWE and say she would not be where she is today if it wasn't for CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, and Kane. And this could be a similar situation where they're going to take Brooke Hogan, put her with Bully Ray and Austin Aries, arguably the two hottest talents in TNA right now. Maybe she can ride that wave until she can get something of her own going.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. AJ is AJ Lee and Brooke Hogan is Brooke Hogan. Just in case you're unaware of what Brooke Hogan has done in the past.
Okay. Lee, I'm just saying, dismissing it outright without at least, damn it. No, that's a really good point. All right. Well, the point being, you never know. I'm trying to play devil's advocate here. I'm like, you're kind of hamstringing me a bit.
I'm just making sure that we've got all the facts out there, so all the listeners are aware of, everything, and that, just to make sure they're all, in the same fairground.
Yeah, facts are facts. AJ Lee actually has wrestling talent and her own ability. Brooke Hogan tried a music career, which failed horribly, and that's pretty much been the story of her life. Everything she's tried independently has blown up in her face.
Yeah, Rob went further than I did, because I literally just said AJ Lee is AJ Lee, and Brooke Hogan is Brooke Hogan. I didn't even expand on that, and everybody knew exactly what I was on about. So there you go.
I think it's safe to say that if Brooke Hogan had any kind of wrestling talent, she probably would have gotten into the industry 5-6 years ago, and she'd already be retired from old age. Women's wrestling old age.
She probably has more upskirts than she does wrestling.
Going back to porn like her father.
All right. So we got Final Resolution coming up. This is the card as we see it. Still kind of rumored, how it is. X Division Championship. We're gonna have RVD defending the title, possibly against a gut check guy. A lot of people are saying maybe Silva. I don't know. Christian York. I mean, leaning heavily towards York. Yeah, Christian York probably. TNA Championship, Samoa Joe defending it again, maybe against an Aces and Eights guy. We didn't really see that much last week, so maybe they're going to bring that back. AJ Styles versus Christopher Daniels.
Samoa Joe versus Director of Chaos would be awesome.
That would be a pretty good match, yeah. AJ Styles versus Christopher Daniels, which will be a spectacular match, just like the other past 3,000 that they've had. TNA, probably having some kind of TNA versus Aces and Eights thing with maybe Angle, Garrett, Briscoe versus Devon, Director of Chaos if he isn't in this Mojo match, an Armbreaker. I don't know. Maybe that's going to be filling out a little bit. Possibly a tag match, Chavo Hernandez versus Ryan and Morgan. That's kind of being hinted at a little bit. Knockouts Championship, Mickie James versus Tara. That is a lock. We know that one's going. And same with the World Heavyweight Championship, Bobby Roode versus Jeff Hardy. So I got to be honest, the fact that we got AJ and Christopher Daniels and Bobby Roode versus Jeff Hardy, that'll be pretty good. Jeff Hardy, he could put together a solid match.
The doorbell. The doorbell. Sorry, excuse me.
Oh, damn it. Who's
33 minutes.
I am the wiener.
No, especially when you said 43, you dumbass.
I changed it, and then you guys said I couldn't, so it's 33. Have DOC win the TV title and do some crazy angle with that. That's a really good point from the chat. I like the idea of maybe giving the Aces and Eights a strap and see what they do with it. All right, so that is TNA. Check out FTWpodcast.com for more information about us and how to get involved in the future. There's a support tab where you can click and you can donate, buy merch. There's tons of great merch out there. We got a fan, was it Archeo Voices that wrote in? That got a t-shirt, the Proud 10th shirt. I'm sorry, that was Nick. Thank you, Nick.
No, that was Nick Alexander.
Really appreciate it. Yeah, with the Proud 10%er shirt. You look really happy with it. Looks good on you. As well as links to us on iTunes and Stitcher so that you can rate us. We accept no less than 4 stars. If you have any more ideas of what we can do for merch, feel free to send those in. You can send them to Harrison at ftwpodcast.com, or you can just, email us from the website. That's fine too. You can even tweet me at Harrison_FTW. if you got any ideas or concepts you'd like to see on there. Thank you everyone in the live chat. You guys are awesome again. We record every FTW episode on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, 1 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time at ftwlive.com, and we will see you next Tuesday.